Welcome back to Zen Chic's Quilt Along Spring in Paris. This video is about how to join all the triangles to form a row. So you lay out all your triangles according to your layout diagram into one first row. And now you will see why those trimmed off dog ears come in handy. They give you a guideline how to place the triangles onto each other. So we place two triangles, right sides, onto each other, edges matching exactly. Now with a 1/4 inch seam, you saw along that edge, and as you can see, the seam starts directly in that trimmed off corner. If you lay the seam flat, it should form one row, one first piece of the row. Now here's a tip how to get exactly flat laying matching points when all the 6 seams meet. So usually as quilters we press all seam allowances into one direction. But in this case it would create a lot of bulk in these points where all the 6 seams match. So I rather want to have them flat and kind of open. To get them open, I clip diagonally a little bit under that crossing seams, as you can see in the picture, so I can have all seam allowances of a row in one direction, but still those little parts where the seams cross, those I can press open. I know that's not a classic way to do it, but who cares about any quilt pulleys here? In order to get the possibility to open up the seams, it makes sense to take your already pieced part of the row on top and place your next single piece on the bottom. This allows you to control where your seam allowance should go, so you can open it up when you place your next seam. When I join pieces for a row, I love to sew time efficiently, so chain piecing is the way to go. Therefore, I prepare stacks of triangles in the right order, as you can see on the left side, and I prepare, let's say, 2 or 3 of those stacks so I can chain piece rows. So here I demonstrate how I build a stack for a row. I am on row 10 here with my project, and I start from the very left triangle and go towards the very right. I stack the triangles according to my layout diagram, and I also take care in which direction the tip of the triangle has to point. So this allows me to have a double check when I am sewing if I am still okay. And also when you see me turn fabrics, this is because the fabric has a certain grain, and I want the grain to be always straight and not on the bias. I have now prepared 3 stacks for rows and start to chain piecing my rows together. So for the first row, I place 2 fabrics right side onto each other. Here I have to trim off the doggy because I forgot that one. And I start with a 1/4 inch seam to join the first 2 pieces. So once I'm done, I start with the second row, and then also in the same manner, I go forward with the third row. Once I have sewn together all the 3 units, I clip off the first unit of the row 10, and as you can see, the straight edge is always on the very right side. Now I pick the next triangle, place that one right sides onto the other, edges matching exactly, if you want to, you can pin it a little bit so it is secure. And now I want to place it under my food, machine food. But as you can see, I did it the wrong way. So I accidentally wanted to make the seam on the upper edge of the row. So you have to take care for that. So I noticed it, and this is wrong. You have to sew along the diagonal seam of the row. Now when you start sewing, you can now direct the already sewn seam allowance in the direction you want it to be, which is open. So now I trim or clip off the next unit. This is from the following row, and I place the next triangle and so on. Join all the triangles for a row until you have pieced on the last printed triangle, and we will leave it on this state so we don't press it now. And we also have still to add that little piece of background fabric which fills the gap between the left border and the last hexagon ball of a row. But we leave that all for the next step on the next tutorial and video I will show you.